Okay, I'm out. This is Saturday afternoon, I think the 22nd of March. I thought while I was out sailing, I'd describe the boat a little bit better. Sailing today, it's pretty gusty. The winds are right now, I think 14 knots, gusting up to 25 or 30. It's calmed down just a little bit up here at the lake, but let me show you. I've got only the main up, and I have one reef in the main, and that's doing really well for right now. The wind's calmed down a little bit. I'm toying with the idea of going up front and putting up one of my jibs, but already out here on the lake, I don't know if I need to do that. But one thing, when I was describing the boat on the last video I did not mention the pop top. The pop top right there is this whole part of the boat pops up, I don't know, about 18 inches or so, and gives you more room in the cabin. Now, you're not supposed to have that when you're out sailing, and I don't today, but that is something that adds some headroom to the boat. And I talked about the tiller clutch before, but I've got one reef in the main, and the wind's blowing probably 10 to 12 knots right now. And, well, I had to put my hand on it there, but it actually does pretty good. I don't have it on right now with the gusty. This is cutting out the wind noise. I'm getting better at reading the water where you can see the gusts coming. The hardest part today actually is getting off the dock. Let's see if I can describe something else about the boat. My boat does not have lifelines that go around the edge of the boat, around the sides. Some of the newer boats do, and I wish this boat had it, but it doesn't. Let me back up and see the reef I have in the main. Actually, the first time I put a reef in, I don't think I have it done right. I think that tail end, that clew right there, needs to be tied down closer to the boom, but I wanted to hurry up and get out here. And I'm probably going for about 5 knots now. It's nice out here today. It's probably 65 degrees or more. I wish my son was out here with me today, but I'm sure he had something more exciting going on. When it's windy like this, I keep that bottom companionway wooden door installed, because if I had the jib up, the boat be leaning over more, and sometimes water comes over the side, and I have had water come in and go down in the cabin, which was kind of scary, but it's okay. You see kind of a little bit of cat's paws, I think is what they call them, waves. I think that's 15 knots or so. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a shot of what it was like out here sailing about, well, with 15 knots of wind, the bigger gusts, with just the main, reef main. That's it for now. Just wanted to show some bigger gusts when they come. gusting to about 20 now, I would guess. Not too bad controlling it with just the main up with one reef. I don't have two reefs in the main. Well, my main doesn't allow me to reef it 2 times. Now, one reason it's controllable, I would say, even though it's gusting to 20 knots up here, it's just on a lake, so you can see the waves. Oh, the waves aren't, I don't know, 2 feet at most. There's some bigger gusts. If this was out, like out in a big bay somewhere, the 20 knots of wind, the waves would build up. It'd be a lot harder, but this isn't too bad. Starting to pound a little bit now. Boat, when I have the jib up and the big gust hits, it really wants to round up into the wind. Still wants to do it with just the main up, which is good. Getting out from the protection of that small island over there, so the gusts are getting a little bit bigger. This boat, it only weighs about 2,500 pounds. So, I mean, the way it's been described to me, they said it's a really good lake boat in like, coastal cruising, like in a bay. And I have seen people that take this, offshore some, but, it's an excellent lake boat. It's like it's the smallest big boat that you can have. It's got a cabin. It's an excellent boat. But with it being 2,500 pounds, and on a trailer, with the trailer and all the gear, probably 3,500 pounds or so, maybe 4,000 pounds, you can have a small truck or even an SUV that'll pull it. This boat is 51 years old, and one of the reasons I think it made it to 51 years is that it is on a trailer and they take it out of the water, or it was taken out of the water all the time, so it didn't sit in the water and let the water soak in. All right, I got some gusts coming up here. Let me deal with this and I'll check back in a little bit. About to have need to tack here in a minute, but I want to show you how wide the lake is up here. We're at the upper part of the lake. It opens up over there. It's a bigger area than what I'm sailing in now. The wind's out of the north, which is towards that area, so the gusts are a little bit more pronounced now. To show you this part of the lake. I guess with the wind gusting up to 20 knots, don't see any other boats out here. There's some white caps up there. I need to see the change in the color of the water. It's about to be a big gust coming up here. Tell you, that tack was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Let me see if I can get behind that island. But I can hear the wind whistling through the rigging now. Glad I didn't have another jib up. There's a bass boat over there. I don't know if you can see it. Easier with him out here too. Something in the water right there. Hopefully it wasn't a big log. Yeah, I'm getting behind this island over here. It's giving me some protection from the wind, and you can see the different shade over in the water over there where the wind is. That's it for now. Comes a gust. have a main up with one reef in it. Hopefully you can hear this, but if you look off in the distance, you can see that real tall pine tree. That's where I was last weekend. That I told you we call that Big Pine Cove. You can see that pine tree from a long way off in the lake. That's why we call it that. I'm gonna see if I can't get the jib up here in a little bit, maybe shoot some more video. This is just with the main up with one reef. I did want to show this. I've switched directions and now I'm going downwind. Hand up where you can see. You can see I'm kind of going with the waves. The waves are going with the wind, so I'm going downwind. So the boat's not rocking as much. It's because of our speed, you subtract that from the actual wind, so it doesn't even really feel like there's much wind right now. That's entrance to where the sailing club and all the boats are. And over there where the American flag is, that's our pavilion where we have cookouts and meetings and what have you. Okay, well that was a little bit more exciting than I was hoping for coming into the dock at least, but I made it. So the boat's safe up at the dock here. The wind was still blowing pretty hard, but let me pan around. So again, this is my boat. It's a Catalina 22. Went out today, just myself. My son couldn't come. The wind was, I don't know, like 12 to 15 or so, gusting 25 up to 30, they said sometimes. It was really too much wind for me to handle it myself, but I wanted to go. Had a good time, nothing broke. I only had the main up with a single reef in it, because I only had a single reef main. The only difficulty I had was getting off the dock and then getting my sail down actually when I was ready to come in. And then when I was coming into the dock, excuse me, the wind was coming straight into the dock. It's still pretty strong, you can see. So it was pushing me into the dock, but I managed to make it. Nothing got broken. But again, this is a Catalina 22. This is my 4 horsepower outboard motor. And yeah, the main, I couldn't get it down all the way because I had it reefed, so I had it tied to the boom in the back, so I wasn't able to get it off the boom when I was coming in, so I had to hang on to it when it was coming in. But I had a good afternoon, and yeah, so one, good thing about this size boat, not necessarily Catalina 22, but a boat of this size, is that you can keep it out of the water, and it's light enough that half ton, certainly 3/4 ton, or even a big SUV can tow it. And so you can pick it up and carry it. We're going to carry ours down to Pensacola this summer, and you can keep it out of the water so they'll last longer. And this, I think I mentioned it, but this boat's a 73, so it's 51 years old now. Doesn't really leak. I expect to have some water in it today because it was kind of rough out there, but I mean, it's in pretty good shape. So that's it. Again, this is full tilt too. It's a 1973 Catalina 22, and we were just out for about 2 or 3 hours or so up here at a lake in central Alabama, and had a good time. It was just me and the boat. All right, I have the boat safely back at the dock now. I'm sitting down in the cabin just taking a break for a minute. And actually, that sail actually took a lot more out of me than I thought it did when I was coming into the dock. But I mean, the wind was pretty strong. It was just myself, and I had to do everything. And I was a little nervous bringing it into the dock with the wind pushing me into the dock. But I'm back now, and let me give, I guess, a little bit more information about the boat. Okay, as I said, I'm down in the cabin. I'm looking out. Let me show you where we are. This is the sailing club where I am. We've got several slips. We pan around. We also have some boats that are moored out there. And there's this dock here, and there's another dock on the other side of that little spit of land. My boat, if you can see where the hatch is there, it's on that flat surface up on the bow. Some of the newer versions, that hatch is on the angled part of the deck right here. And they have a anchor locker up front there, which is really useful because the space underneath the boat where that anchor lock is in the newer ones is really kind of unusable anyway. But, this is a 73, so it didn't have that. There's our pontoon boat for the races that they have. And it's a really nice facility here. I really don't understand why there's not more people here all the time. Even in the summer, there's not a lot of people. Let me sit back down and rest. But today was fun. I wish my son could have been able to go. I think he would have really enjoyed it, but with him being in school, I think they're getting ready to have finals for this semester, so he was not able to come. And my wife was working too, so it was just me. To be honest, it was actually, the winds were a little strong for me to go out, but I'm trying to figure out how the boat does and how I can handle it. And I will say, even though the winds were gusting, above 20, sometimes 25 knots, like 10 to 15 steady, the boat did fine. The only issue was I had trouble keeping up with the boat, staying ahead of it. I mean, if a gust was coming, I'd have to let the mainsail out, and then I was coming close to shore, needed to tack. So it was, when the wind's blowing, well, when you're sailing alone by yourself, everything's a lot more stressful anyway, and the wind's really blowing, it's, doubly hard. But I'm back at the dock, feel kind of exhausted. But I did make it back, and the boat, like I said, the boat did fine. This is a 51-year-old boat, no issues with it. Let me show you the pop top on the inside. I think I mentioned the pop top. I didn't mention it on the first video, but this whole top part right here pops up, rotates up. Let me turn around. And so you have like, well, whatever that length is, 12 inches or so of additional headroom. And I've put it up a few times, but I mean, it's really heavy, and you're not supposed to have it up when you're sailing anyway, or really doing anything. So it's really more for when you're docking. But we have had it up. Now, one thing I do need to do on this boat, my wife keeps telling me she wants to do it, but I saw it on the internet. It looks like it's more trouble than I want to do right now, is to replace these windows, or the window seals, I should say, because she thought that they were leaking, and they may be leaking some. I get water that comes into the boat sometimes when it rains, but I found out it's from these bolts that are holding on to this, whatever this thing is. I need to do something about that. These rods right here for some curtains that boat didn't have it when I got the boat, and then same with the curtain rods up there. There actually is there's a space right behind that bulkhead there where you could put like a little porta potty, or my boat didn't come with one, and to be honest with you, I don't know how on earth you'd use it as small as that area is, but it did come with, or you can put one there. And then these, underneath all of these seats, little storage. Some of them, like this is just the outside of the hull right here, but some of the other ones have like a liner on the inside. And you see that kind of goes up in there, so we have space. What these are, I mentioned that I didn't have an electrical system on the boat. Well, it has one. I don't have a battery in it. There's some things wrong with it. So these are my navigation lights that I can put on the boat when I'm out at night. Got some tools and things in here. Oh man, there's water in there. Guess I need to take that out and drain that. That must have come in from raining. Didn't have it covered up good, but I need to leave that open where I can deal with that. And then there's a hatch underneath that bench over there, and then there's one underneath here, and that's where the battery was. I guess that's about it for today. I'm kind of tired, so I'm gonna go sit up by the pavilion, finish my drink, and then come back and put the boat back on the trailer and put it to bed. All right, thank you. Just wanted to show how strong the wind was blowing today. This was the strongest winds I've taken the boat out in, either with my son or alone. If it was blowing this hard again tomorrow, I doubt I would go out by myself. I enjoyed it, but it was a lot of work. But nothing was broken. Wanted to mention again about the anchor locker on some of the newer C22s. I mentioned mine's, I think it's a 73, and so I've got a hatch that sits right there on some of the newer models. I guess the slope of that cabin must be longer or something, but that hatch right there is actually on the sloped portion of the cabin, and that opens up this space, and then they have a small anchor locker up front where you can store your anchor, which is really handy because down below there it's really hard to get up there, and it's basically unusable space on the inside anyway. And so what I have to do, I have to keep my anchor in the back, and when I want to anchor, I'll have to either walk up front with it and drop it, or what I usually do is just drop it from the rear and then walk it around, which isn't the ideal thing to do. But here the boat is back at anchor, or back at the dock, after a long day of sailing, and I'm tired. But I'm about to put it back up, put it up on the truck, and go put it up. I got probably about 30 minutes or so from now, and I'll be able to be driving away. But you know, as I mentioned, though, keeping the boat out of the water helps it last longer. And I didn't realize this boat until I counted it up this morning. It was 51 years old, and it's you know, in pretty good shape. So that's it. Here's a shot of the boat hooked back up to my truck. Up here at the yard, about to put it to sleep. The trailer, when I got it, did not have those vertical supports, those guides, but that helped tremendously as far as getting the boat put back up on the trailer when I'm coming in. Just pan around here where you can see it. You know, the boat and the trailer probably, and all the stuff in it, maybe like 4,000 pounds or so. Boat's 25, trailer's 1,000. Outboard and what have you. But yeah, I really haven't had any trouble with the trailer. All I've towed it from is just from the yard up here down to the lake, which is, I don't know, 500 yards or so. But I've got new tires on the trailer because I'm planning on taking the boat down to the beach this summer. And then I've got new safety chains on this trailer because about, I don't know, a month ago or so, I was pulling the boat out of the water and got to the top of the ramp and the trailer popped off the ball. Been towing trailers for 30 or 35 years, never had that happen. And it popped off and the trailer went running back down the slip and hit the water and went out in the water a lot farther than I thought it was going to. And it took me a while to get it out, but luckily nobody was hurt and no damage other than my ego. And then my truck's a half-ton 2003 four-wheel drive, and it pulls it fine. I think the towing limit for my truck's like 75 or 7,700 pounds, and yeah, even a small SUV will tow this, you know, 3,500, 4,000 pounds or so, I think. But all right, that's it. Still pretty good wind. I just got too tired out there. Let me pan around, let you can see our boat yard here. A lot of these boats over here on the right aren't really in use right now. But we have a lot of other boats here. And that's my spot there.